and 11.
Mr. Hanson. All right. Hanson, are we up? Okay, all the best. You don't like it, do you?
Arthur and Teresa are now married, but there will be no reception, no party, no honeymoon. For Arthur is a prisoner in Strangeways and has 1 year left to serve of a 3-year sentence. Imprisonment punishes not only the inmate, but also the family.
See you in about 20 minutes.
I'll see you someday. Good daddy. Good daddy. See you someday. Hey, Alpha.
You're not getting locked.
See ya.
What about Tom?
What's that weird bag? Shove this in.
Hang on, you nicked me.
One of the hazards of the job.
That's your first wound, the mother.
Yeah. No worry, probably get me.
You don't get these, I'm going to get it.
Won't be the first time, will it?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, see you in a few minutes.
Look at yourself, right?
We'll follow you after. I'm going out getting a car for you. I'll just run you to taxi now for us to go back there.
These anonymous figures, set against the iron Victorian landscape of Strangeways, are society's rejects. Over 1,000 adult prisoners are locked away here, many hundreds, 2 and 3 to a cell. How do they preserve their individuality, their identity, when prison dehumanizes men with uniforms, numbers, monotony, and regimentation? In this program, we concentrate on the cons, how some of them react to prison life.
When you go up to court, the judge says to you, you will go away from society. It doesn't say you will go away from society and come in here and get beat up. And then they can turn around and say that it was our fault, that we jumped them. Just because a man's up for grievous bodily harm, it doesn't mean that he's going to attack everybody, every officer he sees, or everybody he sees. Does it? You know? That's what I'm saying. And then they turn around and say, oh, well, it's the same old story. He's been done for violence before. So they've got everything on their side. We've got nothing on our side. They tell us we can go to the Board of Visitors. Now, who's the Board of Visitors going to believe? An officer of good status, like he's been in the service 15 years, he's done nothing wrong. No such thing. He's done plenty wrong, he just hasn't been caught because he's had everybody else to cover up for him, like all officers do. Like we do, like criminals do. When I came over to this country, right, I done nothing wrong, nothing at all. I was in the care of the local authority, right, because I was an illegitimate child and all this business they go on about up in courts and that. You know, I done nothing wrong. Nobody said that I should be put away for 3 years of my life. But I was. Nobody thought about me then, when I was away. And when I seen everybody else going home, I wanted to know what I was doing here. Why couldn't I go on? Why was everybody else coming in after me and going out before me? And why, whenever I asked, there was nothing said, it was all brushed under the carpet? Is it any wonder why? And that's when I started to commit crime, when I started running away, when I realised, I didn't realise I was stupid. But I just I was in with criminals, and eventually I ran away with them, and eventually I came into Bergman, and that's how I done Bergman.
What does prison mean?
It doesn't mean, you see, it doesn't mean nothing to me now, because I'm used to it. It's not, I mean, I come in here and I know the routine, and I know it's going to be the same all the way through my sentence. It's not going to change. I just resent being here, but while I'm here, I've got to make the best of it. I don't see why I should be miserable and whatever it is, just because I'm here, and they think that I should be. You know.
In Bernard's case, rejection, illegitimacy, and years in a children's home may have led him to crime. It now seems a way of life, for the odds are against Bernard's finding an alternative. Over 70% of prisoners return to prisons like Strangeways.
You know, I've lots of thoughts like I'll be thinking as they'll pull me through, I'm sure. You know.
What's the most you've ever done before?
I've done 5,000 in 2.5 hours, and I did it really comfortably, you know, and although I have to double that, I'm very confident.
Can you just tell me what made you do this?
Well, I watched the film on the NSPCC about battered children, and having a daughter and a son of my own, I was approached if I'd do it, and I took the opportunity up right away. You know, I think it's a marvellous cause, and I'm just made up to be doing it for them.
Has it been very difficult putting in your training while you've been in here?
Yeah, well, it has been. You know, there's little disadvantages. Obviously, never 100% mentally fit in here, you know, so...
What about the diet?
Oh, I wouldn't like to comment on that, you know.
OK, well, the best of luck.
Thanks a lot.
What are you in for?
I'm in for theft, a very simple theft, mate. I'm in for 100 weight of lead. You never believe what I'm in for real. I've got all the depositions there. And I pleaded not guilty to it, and the solicitor told me if you plead guilty in a court of law to this, he said you'd have got a magistrate, you got a £30 fine. I said, are you telling me to plead guilty to something I've not done and get a £30 fine? He said, no. I said, well then, I'm pleading not guilty, I'm taking this to the Crown Court. And I went up to the Crown, and you know, I was really upset and bitter over it. All these lads know I'm really bitter over what happened to me. You know, they sentenced me to 15 months for 100 weight of lead from a derelict house, you know, which I never took.
The existing world record is 9,106 press-ups in 4 hours, 17 minutes. Alan is attempting 10,000 press-ups in 5 hours. 20 seconds to go.
Every prisoner finds his own way to endure confinement.
15.
In Alan's case, hundreds of hours in his cell doing press-ups in preparation for this attempt.
Countdown starting from 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, off.
"25 press-ups, a minute's rest, then another 25. 5 hours to triumph over imprisonment. Cons and screws form an uneasy alliance. Without some collaboration, the prison would not function. So much depends on the attitudes they adopt towards each other.
I repeated the order. But he made no move. And I said, nick me. complied with his request, and he's removed to the one policeman found him by officers Delta Duffy. That was the evidence, sir.
Thank you. Now you've heard the evidence, what do you wish to say?
There are only one or two small points that may throw some light on the matter, sir.
Pardon?
There might be one or two points which may throw some light on the subject, sir. The first thing is I was about to use the toilet for the particular purpose for which it was intended, sir.
Yes.
And in so doing, I didn't see that having a cigarette unlit in my mouth affected the issue one way or t'other, sir.
Yes.
But as regards the rest of the evidence, I have absolutely nothing to disagree with, sir.
When the officer told you to go out to the recess, why did you refuse?
It is my opinion, sir, and I repeat, my opinion, that perhaps the attitude and the tone of voice might not have been consistent with obtaining respect, sir, from a prisoner.
Oh, Vinny.
Vinny is no stranger to the nick. He can't seem to leave crime alone. One night's work in 1978 led to various charges, including rape, a crime generally unacceptable to other cons. Vinny was acquitted of the count of rape, but convicted on others.
Okay, mate, thanks. Then I comes through the big gates, the big pearly gates of Strangeways, right? So anyway, comes in Strangeways, obviously I've got off the rape charge. Some of the officers are all right, you know what I mean? I've known quite a few of them for a long, long time. Some of them are pure dogs, you know what I mean? Some of them are pure dogs, believe you me. So I comes in, I'm on, I comes from Risley, I'm in the block in Risley, because there's been two riots, a riot and 2 sit-downs, and Valenti's involved. I stand out like a sore thumb, so I'm blocked. I lose 3 months remission on a VC, and I'm back in, I'm here down the block. So I come straight from Risley down the block. While I'm down the block, I had it a little bit hard at first, you know, by certain officers, but when I come back out the block, everything was all right. I got a good warrant off the governor not to cause any trouble, you know. Comes in, goes on E-wing, I'm in a single cell. And then I get allocated to a shop and come over onto this wing. I've had more aggravation on this wing since I've been over here. Honest to God, unbelievable, man, unbelievable. All through screws. See what it is? Even though a bloke gets off a charge like rape, right, it's still on your record, right? So if a screw's got it in for you like me, I mean, I don't bow down to any of these screws. I do my little bit of grovelling to get out on the suppers now and again, you know, but I don't bow down to these screws. And it's my mother tells me. I tell them straight and I should keep my mouth shut, you see? If I'd have kept my mouth shut, I'd be going out April. I'm going out July now. Comes out the block, I don't know what's going on, everybody's blanking me. And I mean, every bleeding, I'm telling you, you get the bleeding jail blanking you, and it's bad news. Comes up, so nobody level with me, nobody would tell me what was going on. Obviously, it's down to officers going around saying this, that and the other, right? I'm in the cell, comes out the cell in the morning, the certain officers give me the razor blade, knew for a fact that these 2 cons were going to jump on me. I'm in the recess, and don't listen, not small lads, big lads as well. They jumps on me, I'm slopping out there, they jumps on me, 2 gangsters, so-called gangsters, jump on me. So anyway, they come unstuck. So by the time this certain officers got round, he must have been saying, well, should be all over now, Valenti will be, you know, he'd have his kicking and all that, but he got a shot. So he shouted to me to leave him alone and all that, you know. So I've left them alone, call it a day. Everything blown over then, all coming up, shaking me hand, everything's... You see me, I forgive him too easy. But the place wants closing down. Believe I don't know about Risley getting closed down. This place should be closed down because this nick is run by the screws because there's not a con in here got any bottle. There's none of them got any bottle. They're all doing... They mix them up 6 weekers with 3 weekers. They don't put all the bob together. Because if they put all them up together, this place would have gone up years ago. But I'll tell you something, this place will go off. And when this place does go off, the roof will go, man, I'm telling you. Because they've not had it right here for a long, long time. Risley, they're having riots every so often. But when this place goes off, it'll go off. Because the tension and the men in there, man, it's unbelievable.
McDonald. Down the front of the McDonald, and full name and number of the governor, make your application.
McDonald Thames, 8054180.
Yes, McDonald, what's your application?
I'd like to make an application to go and see my daughter, sir.
What do you mean to go and see your daughter?
Well, she was in a serious road accident on Friday afternoon, sir.
I'm sorry about that. How old is she?
7, sir.
Right. And what's her injuries?
Fractured skull. You know, it's severe face damage, and you don't know if she's damaged the spine. You know.
Well, strictly speaking, I have to be assured that she is not likely to live. Now, I hope that won't come about, but in view of the circumstances, do you know which hospital she's in?
Ashton, sir.
And she's aged 7.
Yes, sir.
Can we do an escort for that?
Yes, under the circumstances, sir, we'll want on.
Yeah, hold on.
Don't close them eyes. Come on, get that in.
Alan is now coming to the 3,000 press-up mark. When he completes the next batch of 25, he will have passed that figure. His time, incidentally, to date is 1 hour, 30 minutes.
Okay, Matt, you know the score?
Yeah.
All right. Got you to behave as you would in the net. All right. Just you implicitly.
Alan has now achieved the 6,000 press-up mark. He's taken so far 3 hours, 7 minutes to achieve this total. You may have noticed that the batches now consist of 20 press-ups as opposed to 25. This is because Alan has been experiencing a great deal of physical pain, and rather than interrupt the tempo of his endeavour, he's reduced the number of press-ups per batch.
Entwistle. Down the front of the mountain, Entwistle. Your full name and number of the governor, make your application.
882407 Entwistle, sir.
Yes, Entwistle, what's your application?
I'd like to apply for a special VO for my wife.
Special VO to wife for what reason?
Well, I was returned last week after absconding from the hostel at Walton. And the first VO I got, I had to send it to my family to take care of some business.
What's so special about this visit?
Well,
Special visits are for special reasons. If you run away, that's your business.
Yeah, well, I've not seen my wife or my child for several weeks.
Well, you had the alternative to send the visiting order to your wife or to your family. You've got to make your mind up.
Yeah,
no,
well,
I see no reason for a special visiting in this case. No order.
Go. All right, out you go.
How are you going to get through this sentence without losing any remission?
Well, I'm just gonna try to avoid all these officers in here and keep out of them way, you know? Because I don't like to be pushed around and all that, and, you know that I'm inside here, all I get is pushed around, you know? And
You've made some pretty strong complaints about authoritarian bodies outside the prison. How do you feel about the authority system in the prison?
yeah, well, it's really bad, you know, because they've got National Front people inside here and all that, you know? And, you know, you don't get treated like human, you know?
But that applies to everybody, surely. I mean, you wouldn't say that you were different, would you, in any way?
Yeah, well, in a farmer way, I would say, you know, that they treat the black guys in here worse than they treat some of the white guys. I mean, they treat some of the white guys bad as well, you know?
If prison is a microcosm of society, then it contains its fair share of racial prejudice. But racist attitudes, either among officers or fellow prisoners, are particularly dangerous in the closed world of a jail. They only lead to more tension and bitterness.
But Strangeways, you can say it's like a miniature Rhodesia. That's what I would say. Sometimes 1 week you'll get the pressure from various screws, even on this landing, if your landing screw isn't on. You'll get them coming across, blah, 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 in your ear, giving you pressure all the time. You know, in a jestful sort of way, they'll say, ah, well, you're just a coon, or you're, come here, black boy, or they'll come and open you up and get my slaves for supper. And he'll parade you down into the kitchen late at night. You know, and all that sort of jamba.
It's like they call it the gravy train when they get all the coloured guys out. They get some funny ones, they open all the coloured guys up on the wing and they call it the gravy train as they're giving the suppers out. And I think it's just mocking that, it's just a liberty, the way they do that. Because they're getting it out just for the sake of getting them out. Because they're coloured.
I've had discussions on the landing with certain officers who have got their political beliefs. Well, fair enough, every individual to what they want. And we've discussed this racialism or national front, you know, one man, one vote sort of thing like Rhodesia. We want all the whites here, repatriation for you, the first, second and third generation. So while we've been talking, and we've had some, you know, good conversations about it, he's saying we create more prejudice by being in individual groups in a prison. But we're not, because we always mix. I mix with him on the yard. And I mix with various other white people on the yard. But the officer concerned at the time was saying, well, because we wear plaits, which I don't, or we have afros, we're different. And they fear us because we're supposed to be like the Scots, mad, aren't we? In other words, if they come at us with violence, we're going to go at them with concealed razor blades or broken mirrors and stuff like that. So really, it's out of fear most of these people victimise us in here.
But you've adopted a criminal way of life, haven't you?
I've got a criminal...
You've been inside 3 times.
Yeah, but that criminal way of life is through necessity, due to society outside. I mean, you get a lot of people in this jail who are in for the first time. They've committed a crime because it was necessary for them to survive. And that's all I do outside, is survive. You can't say to me, I am an arch criminal because of my beliefs. I mean, you work, how much do you get? £100 a week, you support a wife and kids. That won't do it. Not into today's economy. You can't survive. You got to buy food, clothes, run a house, pay your rent, mortgage, whatever. Can you survive on £100?
She sat up this morning and she said, "Where's my dad?"
Oh, I said, I got you.
Great. She says, I says to her this morning, "Who am I?" She says, "Jean."
Terry and Jean's little girl made a rapid recovery. But with release only weeks away, they have formidable problems. Their relationship is under acute strain.
If this doesn't learn you, in a sense, you know, to sort of say, well, I've got to see sense, you know, I've got to stay. I've got to try and stay at home.
Yeah, I know that, but I've never been on this spot before, you know what I mean? I could say it now, and, you know, I might come home and I might stay out 3, 4, 5 years, but it can always happen again, can't it?
It's not just for my benefit.
I don't want to come back, you know.
I know you don't want to come back, but you know these things, don't you?
I know, but I've been saying home with your wife, haven't I? That's it, that's it, that's it.
Yeah,
and that's it, I've come back, and I've come back.
All right, you're 34 in a matter of months, aren't you? Right. Are you going to come back here when you're 64?
No, they don't.
No. But you don't know, you'll be such an old lag at it that they'll be just giving you your own key to walk in the door the way you go on. All I want you to do is come home, settle down, with me and the kids. And I think it's time you started thinking like that. Because this accident last night, it'll turn me, and it could turn me very nasty. And I don't want to be that way with you. You know I think well of you, but it could make it that I could just walk out on you as well, because I don't want to go through this again. I've had enough of this life. And I hope, you know, you can understand as well.
You can understand it, but...
I don't expect you to be an angel, Terry. I mean, I'm no angel, let's face it.
What about the spots I've been in when I haven't had a bleeding penny for all 5 of us and I've gone and got it?
I know.
Them are the spots I'm thinking
but
about.
we've got to learn now, Terry, that we've got to...
I'm not going to starve. I'm not going to say you starve.
No, we're not going to starve. We won't starve. Believe me, we won't starve. We're just going to have to both work together.
That's it, though. Yeah.
You know,
Let's
you're
be honest,
going to have to go...
I don't like work.
I know you don't like work, but you're going to have to learn. You can work in here, so why can't you work outside? It's watching the clock, isn't it? On which horse is going over first fence. That's the trouble with it. You've got to learn to just cut it. Not completely, but you've got to cut it down to some extent. Good God. I'm not a martyr, you know. I'm human, you know, I've got feelings, you know.
Ladies and gentlemen, this mixed batch of 20 press-ups should carry Aaron past the previous highest total. So I think we can well cheer him all the way through this next batch.
Most inmates will do anything to avoid being locked in for most of the day and all of the night. But that is the reality for hundreds of prisoners in Strangeways. Due to action by prison officers, there is no association, no evening classes, and most workshops are closed during the day. There is more than enough time for a man to brood on his crime and the punishment he has received.
Like I said, I killed this guy. But doctors, psychiatrists don't know how you really feel. They try and help you. They're trying to help me with my alcoholism and killing a guy. Depression, I've suffered with that. But once that door's banged up on me, I'm opened at 7 in the morning and it's banged at 8 o'clock at night. They don't know how I feel. They don't know how I sleep, how I wake up still with sweat. I've never forgot the day I did that to that man. Never. There's not a day goes by, the night time, The daytime, you're busy. You're occupied with your mind. The night time, you're alone. You're in your cell. You're writing a letter. You're listening to a radio. Things come into your mind what reminded you of your past. When I get out, my intentions are to get married to this girl. She's got my kiddie. She's stuck by me. She writes to me regularly. If she didn't, I think I would have cracked up long ago. That's the only thing that I live for in jail. My letters and my VOs, they count a lot. That's why I'm scared of losing remission. And that's why I know Strangeways has got me just where he wants me, or any other prison, because of the remission. If we had no remission, this place would have gone up long ago, especially with the food they dish out. We have no facilities. They took the drawing books of us. So what do? We have to sit again in our cells, banged up, at night time. Just your radio. Without the radio, I don't know what I'll be doing. Most probably twiddling my thumbs, going to sleep at 9:30. Lights out at 9:30 anyway.
Prisoners have to conform. Those who don't are labelled subversive. If they are not isolated on the punishment block, they are carefully watched and regularly searched on the landings. For Ian, imprisonment has served only to strengthen his stand against straight or conventional society.
Who's this razor on the bottom shelf?
What?
The blade in it.
Shouldn't have been a blade.
One razor blade?
Handed in, has it?
Shouldn't have that.
Well, we took the blade for there this morning.
Well, we'll have to check. We'll check the
I was the only one that had the blade. The
Yeah.
other guy didn't have a razor blade this morning. I was
Does
the
he
only one that
shave?
had one. What?
Does he
No,
shave?
he doesn't shave. I was the
He
only
got a
one that
beard?
had
You shouldn't have the blade, kid.
Well, I gave him my blade back this morning and also
Okay, well, fair enough. We'll check.
We'll check it out.
Check it out. We'll check it.
You know.
Have you left any of your earnings in?
What?
Any? You got any money in there?
No.
None at all. Haven't left any earnings in.
No, it's we give them.
If he doesn't check out, then somebody's going to go down. See the governor about it. Okay. Not made a mess of yourself. Could have done, but we did. You know the score.
Don't get rid of him, I know.
Get rid of anything in the cell that doesn't belong to you. You can't complain if you get nicked.
I want money, big money, because I spend a lot. I always spend a lot of money. Because you've got, after you've been in here, like, you've got a lot, you've a hell of a lot to make up for, no? 4 years I'm stuck here for, missing a lot of life. I've got to catch up now. I've got maybe about 3 months, I'll catch up in that 4 years. A lot of living to do in 3 months.
And you'll go back to the same life?
Oh, aye. I'm 30-year-old and I've been at it for the last 16 years, so it's a trade, you know.
What has it meant being in here? Has it made you as determined as ever, or what?
Yeah, because that's every time I'm caught, that same got one over me. So I've got to go out and get away with a few to get it back. It's one way of looking at it, but when you get out here and you've got money in your pocket, you forget. It's surprising how quickly you forget about the place. And if you're going out to do a robbery, you don't think about the chance of you being caught. It's just the last thing that enters your mind, no? It only comes in top. Well, I've never been caught, I've been grassed a lot. But it only comes in top when you're back in your own remand and you're going, oh, what the fuck can I get here? Can I get off it? Trying to make up a case to get off. Very rarely you get off. Well, you get here, society will not do nothing for you. You got for a job, you say, oh, he's just out of prison. You can't give him a job, you know. So you just got, again, another job. Can't give him, he's been out of prison. So you just got to take our money off him and fuck our jobs.
Society offers you nothing?
Can't do nothing for you. They've labelled you. They've labelled you as a villain and that's it. I'm what's known as an active criminal, even when I'm not active. So I've got to live up to the part.
But you could end up by killing somebody.
I could, but if I kill someone that were a policeman, the same type of person that's going to kill me. You're going out and shooting people. Now they've got off with 3 in the last 2 years. They've got a Home Office pathologist proved the guy was shot in the back
and still nothing's done about it.
Alan has achieved in total a figure of 10,027 press-ups in a time of 5 hours, 36 minutes, 20 seconds.
Can I give you £100 which a well-wisher brought to the gate for Alan for the NSPCCs?
Thank you.
And I think you've got something else to look forward to, haven't you?
Yes, because he's released on Friday. Yeah.
Good luck to you all.
Right, thank you very much. Thank you.
All I'm going to say, Alan, it is a remarkable achievement. Not only have you done a great deal, I'm sure, for yourself, but for the National Prevention of Cruelty to Children. I'm going to break all the rules in the book as the governor of this prison. If any man...
I get in ruts. I get in what kind of a rut, so I get really depressed. You know, the state of the country. You can't get work. You're walking around. You're getting a few bob. You're taking it off the wife, off the jar. You're going in the betting shop. You're trying to have a bet. You're getting in more trouble. You're going home. There's friction. There's arguments. And I really give my wife an hard time, and I'm ashamed of it. And I've been in here now. I've been in for 12 months, and she's having me back. And out of this, I'd be made up. If I can get work of some kind, out of this, I'll be really happy. But it looks bleak. It looks bleak because, you go for jobs, there's 1.5 million unemployed. There's 1 million of them people never been in trouble with the police at all. They can afford to pick and choose. They have no need to take ex-convicts, just come out of prison. They can pick and choose. They can have who they want. You've no chance. I've been for jobs. You've got to lie on top of lie on top of lie and saying you've had jobs, you've worked here. If you go to a job and you say, have you been in trouble with the police? Yes. Have you been? Yes. You've just no chance at all. And that's the set. I'm going out there. It's going to be hard for me. And I just hope after achieving this I'll get the chance of a job. That's all I want out of it.
We learnt afterwards that despite having done more press-ups than any other man in that amount of time, Alan's record had not been ratified by the Guinness Book of Records. No one had mentioned that he had to rest between his batches of press-ups in a prone position.